Hello everyone, I am Dan DePietro from Dungeons by Dan, and today I'm going to be doing a review or kind of a walkthrough of my Lost Tomb Side-Trek. This is a D&D 5th edition adventure for 5 players of 5th level. It can be made more or less difficult depending on how many characters and players that you got involved. And I'll be reviewing it today in Roll20 is the easiest place for me to actually review it for you. So without further ado, let's get into it. And at this point, spoiler alerts if you're going to be a player. So let's check this out. So first of all, I have the main page here, splash page if you're doing some sort of one-shot. Got my characters here, that way you can see I have a couple homebrew creatures such as the warrior statues and the ancient horror. But basically you are going to start in a tavern or anywhere that's useful for your characters. This can be fit into any adventure you're already doing, and I mean that's why it's a side trek, right? So but basically a bard named Findolin comes to you, and he's playing music in a tavern or some other place, and he discusses a chieftain who ultimately terrorized his tribe and killed a bunch of them. And he believes that this is a true story that he had learned on the road, and he asks the players to support them. What's nice about this is it could be near or far, and it could kind of get the players to the next spot if they had to go somewhere else, and so it could be a side trek along the way to the next place. But essentially he wants to follow along, and he brings you to this small temple that has not been touched in ages, just off of a trail. And so let's bring you to the next map here. This is the tomb entrance, all right, and players will start at the top here, and they will come on down. They will kind of explore this entire area and eventually find themselves at the top of this little temple. You can see here on the GM layer there's a shambling mound which has been slightly modified to be hidden in this bush here, and as the players come to the doorway, they get to the doorway, and the shambling mound, which has been kind of manifested and terrorized by the spirits from within the tomb, comes to life and starts attacking the players. It's a relatively simple encounter for the players, but just kind of gets them in the mood of everything is not as it seems here, as I suppose players should expect in a D&D game. Then what you have is you'll get inside the door, and Findolin will kind of let you go the way on your own here, and let's see, you go into the tomb, and there's 2 major maps in this, all right? And so here's the first part. Players are going to start over here. You'll have Findolin at the front, or at the back, and you'll go inside, and here's some ancient water. If the players decide they're going to drink the water, they'll possibly get poisoned. Of course, you wouldn't want to drink tainted water from ages ago, right? But if they start manipulating the different coffins in the area, these spirits will jump out at them, and this is going to be a kind of a little bit of a difficult encounter. It's medium encounter with 7 specters, and it can be, more or less depending on what level your group is. So eventually the characters are going to likely want to check out what's in the main coffin, and once they get through that, they get through the secret door and enter the chieftain's tomb. So as they enter, you can see here we've got several pillars. Some are standing and some have fallen over, and they'll see this row of different statues right here. These statues look exactly like the statues from the previous room, so it should, from the player's perspective, look just like the other statues, and so they shouldn't be suspecting anything, or in theory, not suspecting anything. But once the players get closer, these guys will animate and attempt to protect the chieftain, and they will fight them. And this is going to be a hard encounter, so the previous encounters kind of soften the players up, and this one will kind of hit them hard, but not too terribly hard. And that will bring us to the final boss here, which is the chieftain sarcophagus is actually standing up. It's like literally kind of split in half, and you can open it, right? So as the players start to interact with it, and he's got 2 gems in his eyes, and he's got a spear that he's holding up, and the spear looks to be of like magical or well made in some fashion. And as the players begin to interact with this statue, it will come to life, and this is going to be another hard encounter. So in this short adventure, you're going to have a couple serious encounters with some nice terrain to kind of run around. And once they fight that, they'll find that this indeed was the chieftain. They'll kind of realize that Findalin's story was true, and they'll have set to rest an ancient story and the spirits that were trapped by this ancient evil chieftain. So anyways, I will put some links in the below on how to check the adventure out and get a hold of it. So hopefully you like this. I'll do more of these as I put adventures out, and if they're successful, I'll continue doing it. So I'll put the adventure link and where you can get it. So that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. More will be coming. And until then, keep rolling.